This is Daily Armenia, ＳivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Vassilis Maragos, the European Union's ambassador to Armenia, outlined the bloc's ambitious investment commitments during a SivilNet interview yesterday, highlighting projects that could transform Armenia's infrastructure and economy. Maragos revealed that EU investments in Armenia are expected to reach about $3 billion through 2027. This is not all direct EU investments, but the bloc helps Armenia get loans through concessional funding, he explained. There are few countries where the EU has increased its commitment in the past few years, Maragos stressed. Key infrastructure projects include the new Sisian-Kajaran highway in the Syunik region, connecting southern and central Armenia to avoid relying solely on the existing highway that goes very close to the Azerbaijani border. This construction is Armenia's joint project with the European Investment Bank, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and the Asian Development Bank. The ambassador also brought up Georgia's project that is expected to connect its power grid with Europe's through the Black Sea. It will bring Armenia closer to Europe too, Maragos said. This connectivity will enable increased electricity trade and allow more investment in renewable energies in Armenia, he explained. On visa liberalization, Maragos confirmed progress following the dialogue that launched earlier in September. We haven't actually launched any visa liberalization dialogue with any other partner in the world during the last 5 years of the von der Leyen Commission, he noted, calling it an exceptional political move. High Representative Kaja Kallas announced completion of internal commission work on the action plan following her June visit, with member state discussions ongoing. Once this discussion is finalised, I hope soon we are going to present the action plan to the Armenian public, Maragos said. Regarding the EU monitoring mission at the Armenian-Azerbaijani border, the ambassador defended its civilian role against criticism. This comes as the mission is expected to be pulled out once Armenia and Azerbaijan sign a full normalization agreement, as Baku maintains no third-party forces should be allowed on the shared border. Brussels, however, insists that the mission is civilian only, and thus its mandate is the EU's own agenda with Yerevan. On detained Armenians in Baku, Maragos acknowledged that this is a very painful issue that affects all Armenian people. He confirmed EU involvement through its special representative, who is engaging with all partners on all humanitarian issues, expressing hope that peace normalization efforts will address these concerns constructively. The ambassador emphasized that EU-Armenia relations have never been as close as they are now, with upcoming visits from EU Commissioner for Enlargement Marta Kos planned for September to advance the connectivity agenda. To watch the full interview, follow the link below. Azerbaijan may now have little incentive to formally sign a peace treaty with Armenia following the recent Washington agreements, according to leading regional analysts. Speaking in an online discussion hosted by SivilNet, British journalist and Caucasus expert Tom Duval said the US brokered deal provided Baku with most of its key demands, reducing the likelihood that it will commit to a binding settlement. Paradoxically, by securing this agreement, Azerbaijan now has even less motivation to sign a peace treaty, Duval argued. They have essentially received everything they wanted. Why should they commit themselves to a formal peace deal unless it is a very vague, framework-type document? Duval highlighted that the so-called Trump route sharply lowers the risk of new Azerbaijani military action in Armenia's Syunik province, which he called the main positive outcome. At the same time, he criticised the absence of Turkey from the talks, warning that Ankara's exclusion undermines Armenia's broader strategic goal of normalising relations and opening borders. Russian political analyst Sergei Markedonov, who joined the discussion, echoed concerns that the documents signed in Washington fell short of a genuine peace treaty. He described the agreements as a symbolic declaration rather than a substantive settlement. Markedonov also cautioned against viewing Washington as a reliable guarantor, comparing US commitments in the South Caucasus to its record elsewhere. Some in Yerevan argue that Moscow was a poor guarantor. But why assume Washington will be a better one? We have seen America's guarantees in Afghanistan and Georgia, and the results speak for themselves, he said. Both analysts agreed that Azerbaijan's victory in the 2020 war remains a decisive factor shaping the region's political order. Duval emphasized that by gaining transit rights through Armenia without making reciprocal concessions, Baku has little incentive to compromise further. Markedonov added that the imbalance leaves Armenia negotiating under duress rather than on equal footing. And as always, please follow SivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.